Okay, so there's this new movie out called Wouldn't You Be My Neighbor, right? And Wouldn't You Be My Neighbor... Wait, was I saying it wrong? Why don't you just tell me? Is that an asterisk? Like, that's so passive-aggressive. Okay, whatever. Won't You Be My Neighbor is a biography film on Mr. Rogers, particularly focusing on his life in regards to his show, Mr. Rogers. I saw this movie with a group of 4 friends, none of whom had been raised on the show. And then, by the time the credits were rolling, we were all sobbing. And then, during the credits, an additional clip played that sent everyone sobbing again. I think this is because the movie wanted to make sure we knew it had absolute power over our emotions and that we have zero control over our lives now. So, good movie, right? I mean, yeah, I'd like to say. Some people may dismiss the whole affair as a nostalgia trip, but my group's ardently non-nostalgic viewing should shut that down pretty fast. If a movie can convert its viewers into bawling piles of wet by the credits roll and still have time to spare for a final kick to the solar plexus, that alone should be a testament to its power of storytelling. Some of the most effective portions of the movie were just unedited multiple minute-long clips from the show. The movie knew when to step back and let its subject matter do the legwork, which, in turn, became Waterworks. Oh dear God. Given the tone it struck, it seems like Neighbor is best suited as a celebration for all Fred Rogers has done, but that isn't quite the message that's conveyed. Scattered throughout the movie are little hints casting doubt towards the infallibility of Rogers' character. Not too uncommon in a documentary, even a celebratory one, to hint disenchantment towards the subject's character, but the movie never seemed to go all in on this premise. Even as the narrative grows increasingly critical of Rogers, going as far as to compare him to his character Friday the 13th, this bumbling monarch figure, it always seems to brush off this scrutiny, hopping right back into praise. It's odd. The film seems convinced that it needs to be critical of its subject to be authenticated as a documentary, like it needs this scathing insight, but that's not really the case. At least, I don't think so. Won't You Be My Neighbor works best as a vessel for Rogers' spirit, and it does a really effective job in enveloping you in it. The film starts up and you see this goofy cheeseball dude putting on this shoestring production, and it's hard not to laugh. It's hard not to think it's weird, or even from a modern mindset, creepy, a bit. But as it goes on longer, you get sucked into it. The utter sincerity, the lack of any hint of irony. It seems so foreign, but it's impossible not to love when you're under such extreme, dangerously high exposure to this sincerity. Then, about halfway through, the movie shows clips of parodies of the show, and it's jarring and frustrating. It's a disruption in my IV of purity. Like, Eddie, stop! Eddie, stop it! Stop it! At one point, someone says that there's no place for Mr. Rogers on TV anymore, and I think they're right. The raw genuinity of the show and the man behind it is just kind of out of place today. And internet culture has proven that pretty thoroughly. There's little place for non-irony, like real non-irony. Even nominally wholesome content only thrives as an ironic contrast to the status quo, I believe. It seems as though there's such little place for this real wholesomeness that even the movie itself struggles with it. When Neighbor falters the most is when it tries to be something it's not, caught in this web of expectations that compose the structures we understand for genres and for all our media in general. Won't You Be My Neighbor makes a point of drawing attention to Mr. Rogers' imperfection as a person, but maybe that isn't the point. In other words, this movie didn't need to make us sit in skepticism about Fred Rogers as a person, even if maybe we totally should. That's not what it's here to do, though. And what it did best is pretty magical. And you gotta talk deep and serious at the end of your video essay.